Well, hello and thanks for watching another episode of News of the Pews, where you can count on unapologetic 2A advocacy. Gun rights are human rights. The man with the horse teeth and the vacant soulless gaze is Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. He absolutely despises individual liberty, and anonymous sources tell me he's a Cylon sympathizer, which is why he vetoed House Bills 78 and 312, which would have protected gun makers and sellers from frivolous suits and allowed adults under 21 to get a concealed carry permit, respectively. Thankfully, the red team politicians in Kentucky are made of sterner stuff than most Republicans, because they mustered enough votes to override his veto.
That's why I passed this Trace Buster Buster.
Still, 3 politicians on the red team voted no, and, as you good people know, politicians will never do as they're told unless you relentlessly bully them into it. You don't have to live in Kentucky to call these leeches either. As Benjamin Franklin once said, apes together strong. And because you know the Kentuckish would help you if you needed it, I want you to call Danny Carroll, David Givens, and Michael Neems to tell them you will be campaigning for their opposition in the primary coming up in May because they voted against gun rights. But hey, it would be impossible for us to produce quality 2A propaganda without you. That's right, I don't have any sponsors, so I literally couldn't make this content without your support. So if you happen to be in a comfortable place in life, please consider supporting this channel by purchasing one of these sick t-shirts for just 15 bucks, or donating at the links down there in the doobly-doo and right here. Patreon supporters get to see scripts and videos early, as well as private Discord access. If you're not in a comfortable place though, remember, you don't owe anyone else a thing. Please enjoy this 2A propaganda at the price of free fitty and continue to pray for us. The Fifth Circuit just ruled in favor of the plaintiff in Hobby Distillers versus DOJ, saying the ban on distilling alcohol at home was unconstitutional. Yahoo! But as exciting as that may be from a general personal liberty perspective, you're probably wondering what that has to do with gun rights, because that's what this channel's about. Well, the argument used here is that the ban was justified by Congress to protect the ability to collect taxes on liquor, but it doesn't collect tax. It bans the behavior and thus reduces the amount of tax revenue collected. That is to say, Congress can tax, but it cannot use the taxing power as a pretext to prohibit conduct that it otherwise would not be allowed to regulate. If that sounds familiar, that's because it applies exactly the same to the Hughes Amendment as well as to the discretionary tax stamp issuing that ATF does. If it's about a tax, then all they have any authority to do is collect it, not decide who is allowed to pay it. In short, if the government can't ban me from making liquor at home, then they can't ban me from making machine guns at home. But hey, I'm not a lawyer because my parents were married, so tell me what you folks think about this ruling down there in the doobly-doo. My dear brothers and sisters, I regret to inform you that it appears my days of bringing you what I consider to be the finest, uncut, pure as the driven snow, weapons-grade 2A propaganda are numbered. Myself and the other gun rights reporters whom you love are going the way of the buggy whip, but you will learn to appreciate our clanker replacements for their ability to generate insane quantities of content. You see, a few days ago, a viewer who happens to be a lawyer for the light side emailed me a link to this gun news channel. Now, I'm obscuring the name because I don't want to give them any more traffic or get accused of trying to incite my viewers to harass them.
Fly, my pretties, fly!
But there are a lot of these guys out there. The scripts are entirely LLM generated, and I'm pretty confident this guy is a synthetic avatar as well, but it's a very good one. The problem is, the dude is cranking out 2 or more videos every day, and as I write this, he has 60 subscribers, although I'm sure the screenshot you're looking at by now is higher. That production schedule would be achievable, but quite difficult for a single creator, except they would need to be extremely focused and have few other responsibilities in life. It's the sort of thing a human being launching a new channel would probably never do. They would normally optimize for quality, not quantity. So what's the problem? If people like watching synthetic news aggregators fed by an LLM, why is that any of my business? Well, partly because you're not a quisling and you'll fight with the humans against the clankers when they inevitably rise, but also because the videos are shot full of inaccuracies on account of being written by hallucinating machines. Now, full disclosure, I obviously use an LLM to help create my thumbnails and memes, and I use an LLM extensively to help with research, but you have to check them on everything because they are no more accurate than the Reddit posts they were trained on. For example, ChatGPT got one of the turncoat Republicans in that opening segment wrong, but I went to the roll call on Legiscan to get the names right. When your entire creative pipeline from script to upload is automated though, there's no chance to catch those mistakes, which is probably why the very first video on this channel claims a court ruling that never happened could do things that appeals courts can't do.
A landmark federal appeals court ruling has just fundamentally rewritten the Second Amendment's standing in the American legal system, effectively nullifying years of restrictive precedents in a single sweeping decision. This isn't just another incremental court case. It is a total recalibration of your rights that changes the rules for everything from how you carry in public to how you defend your home and your bank account.
There was no ruling that comes close to matching what he's talking about, but if there was, it wouldn't apply to the whole nation. Appeals courts' rulings are only binding within their respective districts. But he goes on to say the ruling applied strict scrutiny to all Second Amendment cases, and that's where it strays into total bullshit. Because strict scrutiny is a lower standard of review than the text, history, and tradition test mandated by the Supreme Court in the Bruin decision. They explicitly rejected tiered scrutiny for gun rights cases. The bot makes too many fever dream claims to list in one video, but to touch on a few, it claimed the ruling created absolute civil immunity for lawful self-defense, qualified immunity eliminated for Second Amendment violations, and that all state gun databases were declared illegal and ordered destroyed. None of that happened. So stay vigilant and report LLM-generated content. It's one thing for a human creator to use an avatar for privacy, but should we really be boiling all the water on the planet just to watch misinformation made by robots? Now, to be honest, I am being somewhat facetious and hyperbolic about my impending demise. I know you people and most people prefer humans to clankers, so I don't think I'm going anywhere. But I think we're all pretty fed up with this slop, and we all have a responsibility to stop it. Am I right? Gundustry news. Gundustry news. One last thing before I go. How about a little Gundustry news for old time's sake? For May the 4th this year, CMMG is offering a limited edition DL44 blaster in 22 LR. It's based on their 22 AR upper and lower with a custom distressed Cerakote finish, Mauser grip, and a silencer hiding under that DL44 flash hider. I can't tell you what the price is or link to the webpage or YouTube will burn me at the stake, but the internet exists and you people are the smartest because you're watching me, so I'm sure you'll find it. May the 4th be with you. Well folks, round's complete on 2, but before I go, your moment of completion. I love you.